Driving while license suspended in the third degree. There are 3 degrees, 1, 2, and 3, and the third degree offenses are typically, but not entirely, those that involve essentially failure to pay a fine. So, we look at them as really debt collection problems. They, for the most part, do not have public safety implications. We'll zero in on the exact percentage as we move along, but the main notion is that it's both just better economic sense in an austere budget climate, as well as a social justice issue. We spend so much money in criminal prosecution for, again, what is essentially a collection matter. It doesn't make sense. If what you're trying to do is make sure that fines are paid and then you spend more in the process than the fines collected, that doesn't make much sense from a government standpoint. It's a race and social justice issue as well. 44% of all charges for DWLS 3 are African American. This is not about healthcare reform, although of course I'm interested in the legislation that went forward. I think we all are. All progressives in this country were gladdened that we finally did enact historic healthcare reform legislation. It's actually ironic, though, Erica, that asserting what are claimed to be constitutional violations, Commerce Clause, for instance, in the healthcare reform, Mr. McKenna has actually violated the Washington State Constitution on the limits of his power. He has asserted that he has essentially unfettered discretion to decide on his own, without any other state agency, including the governor, when the state of Washington can be involved in litigation anywhere.
On the campaign trail, you said that you wanted to represent the people and not to represent the city, as a corporate entity. Mm-hmm. But your charge against McKenna seems to be that he's not representing the state of Washington. He says he's representing the people. So aren't those two contradictory?
No, I think that they're perfectly consistent. Unlike the powers that I have in this office under the charter of the City of Seattle, his powers are specifically enumerated by the Washington legislature pursuant to the Constitution. It's a detailed listing of the precise powers that he has as State Attorney General. Nowhere does it include this unfettered discretion to decide when to sue in the name of the state of Washington. Ironically, I have a client, even though I have broader powers. The City of Seattle is unified in this. The City Council overwhelmingly endorses this action, as does the mayor. And so City Hall is united. And our petition,
how rare.
Yeah, it's a happy time from that standpoint, for sure.
You've been pretty critical of Chief Diaz in a couple of recent high-profile cases, and I'm wondering, A, do you support him, his selection as police chief, and how do you plan to amend that if he is appointed or if he is confirmed?
I absolutely support him. I want Chief Diaz to succeed, and he is a very good man. I spoke out of frustration as the city's prosecutor after a well-known jaywalking incident. And I think Chief Diaz realizes, I think it's going to really help our relationship. I think he accepts and realizes that it's my name on those criminal complaints. His officers make the arrest, but it's my discretion and it's my decision when we're going to charge. And I want to make sure that we enhance public safety, and that includes keeping citizens safe as well as officers. So I am going to give him all the support I possibly can. I said in that statement that it was the mayor's choice, and he has made his choice, and I fully support the mayor and the chief in their choice. I'm going to work really hard to make sure that they are both successful.